What's up everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about the perception of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and how a lot of people have made an about face and are now singing a different tune. This tune sounds like this. Well, I trust Rocksteady. They haven't let me down yet, so I'm going to give Suicide Squad a chance. I think that approach is a little misguided in a sense because I think people are giving Rocksteady a little bit too much credit in this scenario when in reality, they need to be looking at exactly what Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has been birthed from. I say this not because I don't trust Rocksteady, but because in today's world, creative freedom is moving further and further away from studio executives, and the publisher is coming in to make more of these decisions. We're seeing it with a lot of video games. And if you haven't been paying attention to the gaming world, there are significant points in time that you could have told that publisher and creative direction have been at odds for the most part. In fact, one of the most significant ones that happened right under your nose was when Bungie left Activision. Remember that? Do you remember that this was such a huge deal? And guess what happened with Destiny fans? They celebrated like it was like, say, their mother's birthday or something. It was such a huge uproar in the community of joy that gamers were getting their own developers being in control or back in control of a franchise that they enjoyed. So this is where the conversation has to come into. You see, right now, a lot of publishers are spending a lot of money, more money than they were in development of video games, and the profits in today's day and age are not necessarily as big as they used to be, or at least something could destroy your profits if you don't pay very close attention, like that picture that got leaked. Hence, you can see why, because of the investment and shareholder interest, a lot of these so-called publishers and their executives are coming into the creative process and dictating things they'd like to see in a game. Honestly, I don't think, and I can almost tell you with a higher level of certainty, that Stephen Hill and his team, after having mastered the craft of making a superhero action adventure game, establishing the standard of a superhero adventure game, decided we're going to make this. I doubt it. I don't know why it doesn't, in a sense, ring true to me. There's almost no logical reason as to why this was the direction that the team would have decided to go. If you even want to doubt this statement of mine, you must contend with the fact that at first, the studio that was tasked with making a Suicide Squad game was Warner Brothers Games Montreal. Do you remember that? Somewhere, somehow around 2016 or so, their Suicide Squad game got quietly canceled. And after being quietly canceled, it seemed like their other Superman game as well also was canceled. Some developers have confirmed that on on most of my videos actually, that the Superman project they were working on in 2014, 2015 also was canceled, and what we got was Gotham Knights. And Gotham Knights seemed to take that little approach and possibly wanted to be a live service game, but I think the saving grace for this game was the technical issues. A lot of people say, well, it seemed like the game was going to be a live service game, and then they pulled out of that live service thing. What do you think happened? The execs had a change of heart. They were like, nah, we don't want to farm money from players. No, I think the PlayStation 4 really put a dent in that possibility, because remember, this game came out on its performance, not having 60 FPS mode on the new consoles. The developers attributed that to the game having the untethered co-op system in the game. And that was probably, in my opinion, what must have caused the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One cancellation. So, seeing how the gaming industry is going right now, I want to tell fans to be a little cautious with where they actually lay their expectations. You see, even though you may think that, Suicide Squad is being made by Rocksteady, it's going to be a quality game, it's going to be a fun game. I get you. I understand. That's not my argument, whether or not it's going to be a fun game. My argument is that you pretty much don't go in there saying, I trust Rocksteady, and then when the game doesn't meet your expectations, you then develop a sour taste for the studio. Because for the most part, the studio has very little say over this entire mandate of what games they should make. They can propose different ideas, they can propose prototypes, they can pitch their games to their execs, but their execs have to greenlight the project. This was the project that was greenlit. I mean, I think their original project was probably a whole different game. If you were to ask me, I can't confirm what game it would have been, but seeing that another Warner Brothers studio was working on a Suicide Squad game and that got canceled and Rocksteady took on the project, to me speaks that they probably were not sitting there after Arkham Knight trying to make this game. They were probably working on something else, and then this game got given to them, or maybe they got a mandate and this was the game that would have fit them trying to, do something in that genre or whatever it is, and they got taken away from Montreal. Montreal also had gone through many cancellations. Remember, I'm shocked that gamers really turned on Montreal. That's kind of weird because I think they failed to see this element. They were making the Damian Wayne game, which had leaked pictures. That Damian Wayne game was supposed to follow the Arkham games. And somehow, somewhere, somebody decided, no, let's cancel that game. What do you think those execs were looking at? They were looking at numbers from Fortnite, The Division, FIFA. They were trying to take their games and twist and convert them into the live service element. So I'm certain that when the developers were bringing their single player ideas, they kept getting them turned down. I read a comment that can't necessarily confirm if this person was being honest about Gotham Knights, and they said this person said they worked in Warner Brothers Games Montreal for a while. They said this particular game anyways, this Gotham Knights game, was pitched many times to the execs and they would not accept the project. It wasn't until they did a demo and the person said something about Batgirl and all of that the execs finally went ahead and said, sure, why don't you guys go ahead and make the game? I strongly believe that game would have been a live service game, but then eventually when the technical side did not allow for the live service elements to be there, we eventually saw that huge delay, as well as when Avengers pretty much bombed and tanked in 2020. Everybody ran and went back to was it 2020 or 2019? I can't remember when Avengers came out. It was 2020. Was it 2020? It's 2020. And everybody ran back to the drawing board and eventually started to make modifications to their video games. So I'm just making this video just for everyone to be cautious. You don't want to look at your favorite devs and then see them in a bad light when, for the most part, a lot of their decision making, a lot of their creative process is not in their control. Thanks for watching the video. I appreciate you guys so much. Talk to me in the comment section, and peace out.